going to hit record, and I'm going to start sharing my screen, so things might get a little funky for a minute. All right, so welcome. I'm so excited so many of you made it on tonight. This is really our kickoff to our New Year, New You challenge. And, not that we necessarily need new us in this year, but we can always strive to continue to better ourselves as we go on. So I think that's really where the name came from, just continuing to set those goals and push for them. We're doing it together. We're getting started together. So I'm very much looking forward to this group. The topic tonight is going to be all about meal planning and meal prep. And before we get started, I just want to tell you a little bit about me for those of you who don't know me. My name is Amanda Gould. I'm a mom of one, and I've been married to my husband for a little over 3 years now. Brock is 18 months. I can't even believe how time flies. I became a coach with Team Beachbody back in November 2014. I knew that I had a love for health and fitness. Wanted to give the 21-day fix a try because I saw Autumn Calabrese on the front cover of Oxygen magazine, and seriously, the rest is just history. I fell in love with coaching from day one, and once I saw what I was able to do with it, I just really wanted to run and keep running. So I'm excited to share this opportunity with you. Where we're headed tonight, I'm very schedule oriented, so I like bullet points and numbers. We are going to talk about clean eating, what and why you should be doing it. Using your containers, I know we shared a video in the group, but we're going to get a little more in detail. Reverse engineering your day. We're also going to touch on the performance line and how it fits into the portion fix. Weekend prep tips, and then I threw in there a bonus 10 tips for avoiding temptation. I'd love to hear what tips you would add to it as well, but these are just 10 of my favorite tips. And then we'll do a Q&A at the end because I'm sure there are questions as we get started. So clean eating. The soul of clean eating is consuming food in its most natural state or as close to it as possible. It is not a diet. It is a lifestyle approach to food and its preparations, leading to an improved life one meal at a time. So what does this mean? This means that we are looking for foods that are not processed or very, very minimally processed. When you're at the store, I want you to be very label savvy. So you should be looking for things with less than, 3 or less ingredients. Honestly, less is best. How do you eat clean? What does that even mean? So eating about every 2 to 4 hours. You'll see in my approach in a little bit how I space out my days. Choose organic, wild-caught, grass-fed, cage-free, local, seasonal, as often as possible. I understand that some of these things might seem a little more expensive than others, but you're paying for the quality that you're getting. Another thing to mention is that when you are planning to eat like this, you are planning for portions. So you're buying what you need. You're not buying to waste. We'll talk about different tips such as buying frozen foods, frozen fruits and vegetables to save a little bit as well. How and what again? Water. Keeping a water bottle by your side all the time, ready to go, making sure that you're drinking at least half your body weight in ounces. We talked about becoming label savvy, avoiding processed and refined foods, and then remembering that fat is not the enemy as long as you're consuming those healthy fats that we talk about in the Portion Fix books or the Hammer and Chisel meal plan. Sticking with extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, almond butter, even natural peanut butter. But again, when you're choosing those things, make sure that the only ingredient in almond butter is almonds. There's no need for sugars, salt, oils, or anything to be added to your nut butters. We'll talk about watching portion sizes. And then another point with clean eating and how to do it is to really take it to go and to make it a family affair. So I have these visions of Brock knowing that, before we go out for the day, we pack our little coolers so that we can go out together and have food while we're out. He's never been to a fast food restaurant in his life because I always have sliced apples or grapes or Shakeology or nuts ready to go for us no matter where we're at. Um, why would you want to eat clean? So just a few reasons. Some of you might have seen I posted an article earlier over on my fitness page about some of the best reasons for eating clean, but a few of them are just because it makes you more mindful of what you're putting in your body. You actually start listening to your body more. You know that if it's reacting to a certain substance you're putting into it and how it's reacting. You save money in the long run. I mean, think about the medical bills you're saving on less time off from work if that has been an issue. And again, less waste from the food because you are planning for what you're going to eat for the week. It helps you live longer. They say it forms better relationships. And I love the reason the one article wrote for it, creating better relationships. And that was really because it takes just a little bit longer to prep those foods, and you're spending time chatting with your family while you're getting that ready at night. So I thought that was a sweet reason. And then eating clean actually makes you smarter. So again, if you want to check out that article for more research behind it, I can post that in our pages as well, but that's from cleaneatingmag.com. So let's talk about using your containers. I want you to make sure, I've already gotten a lot of questions, and I know that most of you have already received your programs, but I've gotten a lot of questions that can be answered by looking at your nutrition guide. So take the time to review that guide that came with your program and carry it with you everywhere. I mean, mine is always in my purse or the diaper bag so that I can pull it out for reference no matter where I'm at. I mean, honestly, my original 21-day fix book is beat, but it's worth it because you have it with you handy all the time. If you do have a question and maybe you don't have your tools yet, we've also uploaded so many great resources into the file section of our challenge group pages for you to check out. So that's a big time saver if you can look there first, because one of us might not be able to get that answer to you as quickly as you can find it in there. So that's a great place to turn. And then next, when you're using your program that came with it, use the plan quiz to help you determine which nutrition plan to follow. So we share sample meal plans that range from the 1,200 to 1,500 calorie range and 1,500 to 1,800, but that might not be where you're at right now. So you might need to adjust either up or down depending on where your calorie range is at. So just be aware of where that's at and strive to meet those goals each day. If you're having a hard time finding extra foods or figuring out where to subtract foods, let your coach know. That's what we're here for. We can help you develop a plan that works for you. And then make sure to match that calorie range to the appropriate number of containers. Honestly, after your first round, this will become like second nature. I know that every single day I have 4 greens, 3 purples, 4 reds, 3 yellows, 1 blue, 1 orange, and 4 teaspoons. I mean, I just know, and you'll see when we show you the meal plan how that actually all fits in and how it can be so easily fit into your day. Now, I also wanted to touch on a question that was asked in the Hammer and Chisel Nutrition FAQ, and it's a question that I get all the time, and it's, what if I can't eat all this food? It's okay. It might take your body a little while to adjust, but make sure that if you are passing on a container every day, it's not the same one every day. So don't always skip those extra greens. Don't always skip that healthy fat. Make sure that you're varying it. And again, if you have questions about that, or if you really are struggling to fit all those foods in, let your coach know, and maybe we can come up with some tools to help you with that. So reverse engineering your day. I know that this is a little hard to see, but this is the meal plan that I just uploaded into our Hammer and Chisel group. I uploaded a different one into our New Year, New You 21-day fix group. So what I do in order to plan is I start with my dinner first. And for my dinner every night, I know that I need to have at least 1 red, 1 yellow, and 1 green. Why? Because Frank is home for dinner, and Frank needs a carb with dinner. He needs a protein with dinner, and I need a vegetable with dinner. So always, without fail, you will see in every meal plan that I create, at least, there's going to be 1 red, one yellow, and one green. And usually I try to save my blue for dinner too, because it's nice to add cheese to whatever you're making. So keep that in mind as you're planning your day. So I automatically know that's one blue, one red, one yellow, and one green out. And then I plan up from there. Something that I do since being at home, it was always so much easier for me when I worked because there was such a structure in my day and I was set to eating at those specific times and I could only eat what was in my bag. So what I do now is after we finish dinner at night, I actually portion out my lunch, one of my 2 lunches for the next day from our leftovers. And that's a great recommendation. If I could give you one for time saving, there's no need to be making different lunches. Just eat what you had for dinner the night before. And then something that is a non-negotiable in my day is Shakeology. I don't care if it is Sunday. I don't care if it is Tuesday. I'm drinking Shakeology every single day. 1, because it makes me feel absolutely incredible. 2, because when I don't drink it, I crave sweets like there is no tomorrow. And 3, because it is the easiest thing you can possibly do and it tastes delicious. So just keep that in mind when you're planning. Account for having your Shakeology every day. There's no reason not to have it on a Saturday or Sunday. It's way healthier than anything you can get on the road. So just keep that in mind. It's very portable. Honestly, I put mine with water, ice. I throw it in my shaker cup and I shake it up most days because when I have it, Brock is usually napping, so I don't want to run the blender. So, you make it work. Yes, fun smoothies are awesome and taste delicious, but it's just as easy to throw it in a shaker cup. And then what you're going to see when you look at the meal plans that we created, we wanted to show you how you could do it with a lot of variety so that maybe you don't get bored or you don't think you're stuck to just one type of food. But I will be completely 100% honest with you that every single morning for breakfast, Monday through Friday, I have 2 eggs with spinach, oatmeal, a half a banana, and 3 teaspoons of almond butter. That's just every day without fail. I have a huge breakfast. It's what I do. You don't need to make a different breakfast every day if you don't want to. If you are happy with the breakfast you're having and it fits into your containers, do it. Stick with it. I don't want you to get bored with your food choices, but know that it's okay to eat very similar each day. Next, we're going to touch on the performance line and where it fits in. So the performance line is made up of 5 supplements. Some of you may have heard of it. Some of you this may be completely new to you. It was just released in July. And I have been using Energize and Recover since they came out in July and just loving them. Now that I'm starting Hammer and Chisel on Monday, I will actually be using Energize, Hydrate, Recover, and Recharge to see how it helps vary my results. I'll be sure to let you guys know about that later. But you can use 1, 2, 3, or all 5 of the supplements if you choose. And the Performance Line supplements do not count as containers when they're used at the appropriate times because they're considered focused nutrition. If you want more information about this, let us know. In the interest of time and wanting to get to the Q&A, I'm not going to speak much more about this right now. But again, if you have questions about it, let us know. I know personally I could not live without Energize. I know that Daisy, who's on this call, was struggling for a week without it. Michelle knows how amazing it is. And Energize is the bomb. Yes, I made myself laugh, sorry. Weekend prep. So this is my favorite part to talk about because I love to plan ahead. I love to prepare. I ask Frank to give me like 3 hours on a Sunday morning so I can get everything ready for us for the week. If I get a chance to go out food shopping on my own, it is glorious. So food shop as early as possible in the weekend. And I say this because if you food shop on a Friday night and you have Saturday afternoon free, you're just lounging around your house and you can use it for food prep, that's awesome. You might not want to wait until Sunday morning to go food shopping with the crowds and then come home or, go to mass, if you go to mass on Sundays, and then come home and prep. So if you have the food in, that's awesome. I know for me this weekend, I'm going to try to get out there Friday afternoon or early Saturday morning so that I can get in a big food shop. When you get home from food shopping, clean and chop all your fruits and vegetables right away. Put them in clear containers in your refrigerator so that you can see what you have, or portion them out into the baggies or containers, however you're going to pack them for the week. I also recommend cooking and portioning out all of your breakfasts for the week. So you'll see in our plans how we share recipes for either muffin tin eggs or making a frittata on a Sunday, making this delicious fruity oatmeal bake, which I know we've shared in a few of the groups and can share again. But do that on Sunday and portion it out for the week. Heat it up before work on, each day, or heat it up when you get to work. I was a real snob, and when I used to work in the classroom, I brought my own microwave to leave in my classroom so that I knew I could heat up my breakfast, lunch, whatever, when I needed it. So cook it, portion it out, and pack it. And then to be on the safe side, always cook like 1 to 2 pounds of ground turkey, grilled chicken, or have a dozen hard-boiled eggs in your refrigerator. You never know when you're going to be strapped, or when your husband is going to eat too much of the dinner for dinner and you're not going to have leftovers for lunch. So cook that up, and then all you have to do is go in with your containers, scoop it out, and put it in, put it to go for work the next day. I also recommend cooking a box of brown rice or quinoa for the same reason, or just because there might be one night where you get home really late, it's dinner time, you're like, I don't have the time to make, I don't have the time to make 2 cups of rice. You go right into your fridge, scoop it out, and, put it in. It really does store well in the fridge for the week. Honestly, I've probably had mine go for a little more than a week, and it's still been really good. Examples of things to prep ahead. I know I said the fruity oatmeal bake, fix-ate waffles and pancakes, muffin tin eggs, spinach egg scramble, overnight oats. We share a lot of these recipes in the groups. If you're having a hard time finding one that you are looking for specifically, let one of us know. I did just share my Pinterest page in the challenge groups. Great resources. If you have your pen and paper, that's great. If not, this is recorded. So Fix-Ate cookbook. If you do not have it, get it. It's less than $20. Seriously, this thing looks worse than my original 21-day fix meal guide, because this also comes in my purse with me everywhere. The Eat Clean Diet cookbook by Toscarino, incredible. I have been following her and her family for years now. They are the ones who used to be the publishers of Oxygen Magazine. They might still be the publishers of Oxygen Magazine, and they're the ones who do the eatcleanmag.com. Same thing, Eat Clean Diet, Kids and Family. And then I also have the Skinny Taste cookbook. I haven't done as much with that, but there are some good resources to look at. And I mentioned this on the last slide, get creative with what you eat, but know that it's okay to repeat. No, I did not mean for that to rhyme. I just thought it was funny that it did end up rhyming. Really, it's okay to eat the same things each day. And then another point I want to touch on, if I just go back 2 slides to the meal plan, you're going to see in every meal plan that I personally create, there are only 4 meals each day. I do this because that is what works with my schedule. I have found that I do better eating 4 meals than eating 3 meals and 2 snacks. I find myself becoming overconsumed with the thought of eating all day, that I actually become a little obsessive. So eating 4 meals has been a lifesaver for me. And it really works because you're actually getting 4 meals. So you feel really satisfied for a good 3 to 4 hours before the next one. I just wanted to point that out because I know that people who have done clean eating challenges of mine in the past have said, well, you had, breakfast, lunch 1, lunch 2, dinner. What am I supposed to do? You eat 2 lunches. Just space them out in a way that works for you. So your big bonus for being on here tonight is 10 tips for avoiding temptation. And this is kind of why I touched on the 4 meals a day too, because it's important to set specific meal times. I eat at 8, 12, 3:30, and between 6 and 6:30, depending on when Frank gets home each night. This is very purposeful. I don't snack between meals, and I never really feel the need to snack between meals because I'm always satisfied from my previous meal. Another reason why I eat very similar each day is because I know that my breakfast will hold me over until 12 o'clock when it's time to eat again. I know that my shake that I have at 12 o'clock will last me until 3:30 when I have, a smaller portion of leftovers from the night before, and then I'm not snacking while I'm cooking dinner. So those times have worked for me. You have to find what works for you. Again, if you need tips with that, or if you're trying to figure something out, something that really helped was to keep that food journal going and write down when you're starting to feel hungry and when you're actually eating. Number 2, for avoiding temptation, don't buy it. Keep it out of your house. If it's not in your house, you can't eat it. Plain and simple as that. If you have something still in your house left over from the holidays, Sunday, go through and either send it into work with your husband, send it into school with your kids, or donate it, or if need be, toss it out because it's probably not doing you or your family any good. The day after Christmas, I sent Frank back into work with a huge bag of candy. I said, we can't have this in the house. I will eat it all. I know that about myself. Just toss it. 3, pack your own foods when going out for an extended period of time. So like I said, I'm very lucky to work from the home now, but when I know that we're going out and I know that it's going to be more than an hour or two, I'm always packing something. This could be a bag of grapes. Those little 100-calorie raw almond packs are awesome. I always have Shakeology packets in my bag, just in case I need to stop. And since I always have my water bottle on me, it's very easy to just pour it in and shake it up. So pack foods. Number 4, eat breakfast. There's a reason it's called breakfast. You need to break that fast. I say within 2 hours of waking up. And the only reason I say this is because I wake up at 6 o'clock. I drink my Energize, I work out, I have my Recover, and then I eat my breakfast at 8. So within 2 hours of waking up, make sure that you are fueling your body. 5, eat before going to a party or a luncheon or food shopping. This is huge. If you do follow me on social media anywhere, you see that I am always talking about preparing for parties and going out to dinners by eating something before you go, even if it's something as small as an apple, just to hold you over so that you're not tempted to grab for the cheese and cracker tray that is very easy to overeat at. Same thing along those lines is to eat before food shopping. You don't want to make any bad decisions at the supermarket. I always laugh because Brock is a little carboholic, and when we go to the supermarket, he has to have a roll, and I just think about how tempting it would be to bite into that roll if I were really hungry when I was there. So just something else to keep in mind. And when you go food shopping, just another tip on this list, go with a shopping list. Go with a plan in mind. Number 6, offer to bring something. So, I know Laura Lynn was the perfect example of this. She was telling me about how she was going to the holidays. She had a lot of different parties to go to with friends and family. And everywhere she went, she brought her Fix A cookbook and she brought some tasty, healthy, clean treats. But that tasted delicious. And people would have never even known that they were so good for you. So that's a perfect example. And you can share with people, the recipe, something that they can pass on too. Number 7 for avoiding temptation, exercise. It's literally instant willpower. If you worked out really hard, you're doing autumn total cardio fix. You don't want to go and ruin all that by digging into, donuts sitting on the staff table. So exercise, I love to do it first thing of my day. I know that it sets me up for a really strong day. So if you can do it then, that's great. If not, knowing that you're going home and doing it right away might also give you that willpower. 8, have an accountability partner at work, on speed dial, or next door. As you guys know, we're all extremely lucky to have one another in these groups. As a coach, I have a team of amazing men and women around me at all times that I know I can lean on. But make sure that if you don't have a close friend in the group yet, you find somebody in the group and friend them, or invite a friend to join you for the next It's really nice doing it with somebody else. Number 9, drink tea, coffee, water, or chew a piece of gum. So this has really come in handy at parties or as a teacher. Again, we used to have a lot of staff parties, lunches, breakfasts, things like that. So I would always make sure that I went with, I would always go with my cup of fruit, and then I'd have my coffee in my other hand. And it's very hard to pick up something else when you have those two in your hand, or even if you just have your coffee in your hand and a water bottle in the other hand. Somebody's probably not going to tempt you because there probably won't be too many places for you to put your stuff down at and go grab something else. So just something else to keep in mind. And then 10, start with a salad or vegetables whenever possible. So if you walk in and you see a beautiful spread of food out on the table, go for the raw veggie tray first. And go for the veggies before choosing something else. So I hope you found this list helpful. I'm trying to think about it. I might put it into a little nicer version to share in the challenge groups. But for now, this is a good starting point. I'd love, love, love to hear what you would add to it. And I am going to, as long as you guys think that's good, I'm going to break into the Q&A now, and I'm going to stop my share, and I will unmute everybody. I do apologize if I went a little quickly. I did want to get through it so that we can Q&A, and I have a tendency to ramble a little bit. So just wanted to kind of get right to the point. Questions, comments?
Can I just add, I have to say I love using my crock pot. So that's huge in our house.
Great.
Because I started, when I started the 21-day fix, eating from the containers, I was doing it just for myself. So I learned how to, do it for myself, and then I incorporated it into my family's diet and lifestyle. So for me, using my crock pot has helped tremendously because my kids love, the healthy foods that I make in the crock pot, and I come home and it's all warmed up and ready to go. So that has helped me, and I'm a mother of 3. So, and we usually share recipes. We usually share recipes, crock pot recipes. So that's, definitely, if you guys get stuck with any recipes or anything, start with crock potting because it's helped me.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Would you mind sharing like your favorite 1 or 2 crock pot recipes in our group?
Definitely.
Thank you. I know for me personally, I'm always very stuck when it comes to crock pot. I do like a lot of pork in there, and then
I'm actually putting together a freemium for crock pot.
Perfect.
So I'll let you guys know when that's up. That's on my to-do list for the next week. It needs to get, actually by Sunday. So I'll let you know when that's done. I'm going to do my top 5 favorite crock pot meals because that's one of my favorites as well.
I love it. Very helpful.
The other thing I wanted to add on is there is an app, the 21-Day Fix app, that I absolutely love. I pretty much use it every single day. And it gives you the containers, and you can subtract out as you use them so you can see what you have left. So say, like Amanda said, you're going to have a green, a yellow, and a red for dinner. On the dinner part, you just subtract out 1 green, 1 red, 1 yellow. It shows you what you have for the rest of the day, and then you can kind of gauge it around that. Yeah. I think that is really helpful just to kind of keep you on track and make sure you're not overdoing it, because if you're like me with a crazy day, you tend to forget what exactly you have had and what exactly you have left. There's also a place on there to track your water intake as well.
Oh, good.
So I think for like 8 glasses of water, you can kind of check off each time you have a glass of water. And there's cheat sheets on there for each of the containers. So if you're at the supermarket and you're trying to think of, okay, I know I need some greens this week, you can go on that list and see what is in the green containers, what's allowed in the yellows and all of that to see if it fits in. The other kind of cheating thing I do is keep a photo of the 21-day fix food list in my photos of my phone, so that I also have that as a reference back to as well. I mean, now I know it because I've done it for so long. I pretty much know everything that's on there. But occasionally I might need to take a peek back and check on something. And that's a good way if you're just starting out and you need to kind of get used to what foods are allowed on the, on the systems. That's a good way to do it.
It's not great. I'm writing these suggestions down so that I have them saved for the next time. Hi, Connor.
No, they're good, baby.
Anybody else have any specific questions or any tips? I know that a few of you have done.
I have hard time. It's
you guys, if you're not talking, can you mute yourself, please?
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Corinne.
I have during the week when I'm working, I'm great. Like I'll push out on meals and everything. The weekends, I am struggling so hard with doing. Any helpful hints on that one? Because I'm stuck.
Treat it like a work day. Pack everything.
Yeah.
Really?
That's what I have to do. I'm the same way. Like I work only a couple of days a week and I'm so on point. And, one of the things that I had to start doing is actually waking up in the morning and almost packing everything up into containers like I'm going to work that day. That's the only way that I stay on track. It's too easy to cheat when you're out of your rhythm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's where it helps having, like, that's why I said having those set meal times too. For me being at home, that's been huge, having those set meal times so that I know I only eat at these times. And, for instance, like, it's dinner time by 6:30. I don't like eating after that because it kind of throws me off for the next few days. So,
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And, I've listened to a lot of people say it too, and we've all been there. You work so hard during the weekend or during the week, and then on the weekend you realize that you're putting back on, say, like the 3 pounds you lost that week, every week. And it definitely takes that mindset shift of, how bad do I want this? You have to really want it to wake up early and prep those things and to treat it like a work day and to make sure that you're staying on track. So, or having a really big why to make you stick to it is also a nice thing to keep in mind. Maybe like a picture on the fridge or on the cabinet, whatever is tempting you. And if there is something that's tempting you, keep it out of the house.
Pretend Beachbody's watching you.
Autumn's got her little camera, like,
you pretend that they're coming after you for their next video. That'll motivate you to not cheat on the weekend.
Like, oh my gosh,
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing for Hammer and Chisel.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
I'm watching you, Michelle.
I know. Hey, that's my Hammer and Chisel. I'm like, I'm gonna go into it like Beachbody's recruiting me for their next video, and I gotta look my best and maximize what I can, or pretend like you're in one of Beachbody's test groups. When the people who are in Beachbody's test groups, like they have to follow it like to the letter, because they want to report what results can you get when you are following this program to the letter, when you're following the nutrition program as it's outlined, while you're following the workouts as they're outlined. So if you kind of go in with that mindset, like pretend you have to report into Beachbody like you're in that test group. And believe me, I did it with 21-day fix, and that was probably one of the first time I did it. Like probably some of the best results that I got because I just went into it with that mindset. Like I am all in. Like I know I can do it for 21 days. I'm all in. Like I know I can do Hammer and Chisel for 60 days. And especially with the support system that we have for this kind of test group round, I know I'll be able to do it, and I'm sticking to it. I mean, when I did 21-day fix, I mean, I went straight out, no alcohol, no cheats. I really went hardcore on it, and I was really happy with the results. So if you really think about These programs are designed, there's science behind them. And I think sometimes we forget that. It's not just a workout. They put a lot of science behind the nutrition plans. They put a lot of science behind the workouts. The workout sets are designed in a specific manner to give you results. The nutrition plan is designed in a manner to give you results. So if you want those results, you just have to follow it exactly like it's laid out and treat your weekends like a weekday.
Yeah. Great.
Absolutely, Michelle. I just have to say, I've been talking about this with different people, and that really resonates, because what I've been saying is treat these programs, and your program specifically, if you're a teacher or a student, like your rubric. Where do you want to be? So are you going to settle for a C, or do you want the A?
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
You just have to follow it strictly. It was laid out.
Right. And you know what? I made the mistake of the first program, and I think this is where I kind of learned this lesson. What I did, P90X was my first program, and I did that. I did all the workouts, now 90 days, and if you guys are familiar with that program, they're hour-long workouts or more. Like, we're spoiled now by 21 Day Fix and these awesome 30-minute workouts. So it was an hour long or more, and I got good results, and I was so ticked at the end of the program because I did not follow the nutrition plan. And I thought back to myself, daggone it, if I had just even kind of halved it for the 90 days, what kind of results, how much better could my results have been? And I was a little disappointed in myself. And so when I did the next program, I was a little bit more strict, and each time I've done it, I really think about that now. And going all in on it and giving that commitment, because you're putting in the hard work with the workouts. If you're not going to put it in the same amount of work for the nutrition, then you're going to get what you reap what you sow.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get half results instead of what you really truly can get.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
Just one more food thing. With Jerry starting the program now, he is a very, very picky eater. I mean, I just don't even know what to do for him. For lunches, I mean, even his dinner, I feel like I'm just giving him chicken and brown rice. I mean, and to look at it on the plate, it's not even appealing. He says I'm eating twigs and seeds. I don't know.
But I think you have to take the things that he know that he likes, and then try to just find some creative ways to it. So I know, like, I'm a pretty picky eater too, and as I've kind of developed in this health, fitness, and nutrition journey, it's opened my eyes to trying more things, and I've been more open to trying new things.
Mm-hmm.
And your taste buds do change over time. It does take time. I mean, I'm the person who drank 3 cups of coffee a day loaded with flavored creamer and 4 spoonfuls of sugar. I now drink coffee with 1 packet of stevia, and that's it. And like a half a teaspoon of coconut oil. So those changes can occur over time. And I never ate fish. I never ate vegetables. I thought my mom was going to pass out when she saw me eating zucchini. When I started 21 days, she was like, what are you eating? What are you making? Like, she couldn't believe it, because I just never would touch that stuff. And I thought that healthy food was going to be gross. Like, I thought food had to be fried in order for it to taste good. And so I really had to work with different recipes and things to find things that I liked. I mean, and there are things I would even be cooking and I'm smelling it and I'm like, oh my God, I can't stand the smell of this. But I would eat it and it would taste fabulous. So you just have to kind of be a little open-minded to just be willing to try stuff. With the chicken, like, do something like throwing chicken breasts in the crock pot with some salsa. So it's giving it a little bit of a different flavor, and you can shred it and you can put that over rice or over quinoa. You can put that in corn tortilla shells and make, like a little a chicken enchilada with a little cheese and some vegetables in it. So just like little things like that, like that's what I do to try to just be a little bit more creative. I do flank steak. I love flank steak, so I'll eat that with a sweet potato or green beans, and then I chop it up and do that over rice or quinoa or in a tortilla too for like lunch the next day, or over salad. So, I mean, I try to take those dinners and then whatever the meat is, put it into something for like a lunch the next day, or just another derivation of dinner.
Right. Yeah, that sounds great for me. I think too, as a man, he's eating a lot more than I am, or
yeah.
So it's
well, and that's my husband too. I'm 5'2", he's 6'2". I mean, he's a lot bigger than I am, and so it's I have to find a happy medium there too. For him. I think the crock pot recipes will be a really good option.
Yeah, I'm waiting. Daisy will get them up and we'll be set, I think. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I know that obviously the fix follows a hierarchy. The healthiest, the foods they recommend eating the most are at the top and less often towards the bottom. But on days when I know that Frank is definitely on the road, he's not going to be able to put something in a microwave, I will make him 2 sandwiches. I'll use whole grain bread. I'll use the best turkey that I can find, and I will pack him sandwiches. He packs his Shakeology too, but something that we did, he was eating goldfish and things like that on the road. And just by making the change to packing him fresh veggies and apples and bananas and even the sandwiches and the Shakeology made such a difference over time. So almost remembering, likely we would tell some of our new challengers, it is okay to take baby steps.
Yeah.
Instead of throwing them into it all at once. Because
and lunch meat is on there. Like you can have a sandwich, with 2 whole grain pieces of bread. You can do a turkey and cheese sandwich. That's on,
healthy chicken parm. I know that's always always seems to be a favorite.
You know what? My mom, I went to my mom's for dinner last night, and I always forget about this, but there's turkey chops. Have you ever guys had turkey chops?
No.
And all she did was like put them in a pan with a little bit of coconut oil and then salt and pepper, a little garlic powder, and just cooked them, and then gave us a side of sweet potatoes with it and a salad.
That sounds
and it was so freaking easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, why do I always forget about the turkey chops? Because I always chicken, flank steak, and occasionally pork in the crock pot. But I thought, turkey chops is just a great quick and easy meal that you can make in the pan, fast.
Thought of that.
And it's good. They're really tasty.
Good to know.
Leslie, I wanted to thank you for your reference to a rubric because I was a Florida student in grad school. However, this is the only thing that I've not passed in my life. Is my health and fitness.
We should make you your own rubric.
I need a rubric. If I had a rubric, because if someone was like, if someone's counting on me, I'm all in and I will be there. But if I'm counting on myself, I am the biggest pushover on the face of the earth. You're like, you don't actually have to wake up now. You can snooze for another 55 minutes.
All right, Leslie, we're getting on the phone tomorrow. We're creating a rubric for Kelly.
There we go.
That's what I need.
Remember, there are people counting on you, Kel, so it's okay.
There are.
Think of it that way.
Look, you just put yourself on the radar. I just want you to know that.
I need to be on the radar. I fell off for the last challenge because I was sick for a whole week.
Well, guess
For
what?
an entire week.
No getting sick this time.
Guess what? You're on the radar now, sister.
All right. I need to be on the radar.
That's great.
I need to be all in.
Hey, look, if I'm going to be all in, you got to be all in. That's the rule. And I'm traveling. I'm going to be traveling during this too to LA for the Beachbody New Leader Conference. So that's going to be, I'm already like planning that in my head. Like, how am I going to pack food for a 6-hour flight? And
that's when you actually pack a lunesta and you just sleep the whole way. That's what you pack.
I'll be too excited to sleep. I'll be too excited.
Michelle.
Me and I'll pack for you.
Michelle.
Yes.
Michelle, can you hear me? This is Emily. How are you? I did get on after all. I have a question because you guys were just talking about traveling, and I think I mentioned this to you. We are actually going to be traveling too. So during the challenge, we're gone for 10 of the days.
Oh, wow.
And I am nervous about that for sure. So any tips on that anybody can offer regarding, that would be awesome.
Bring Shakeology.
I think, you got to just try to do the best that you can. I realize it's not going to be perfect, and that's okay. But maybe just to, try to avoid the desserts, pick salads and put your own dressing on it, like a vinegar and oil, pick a fish or a, chicken, breakfast, stick with eggs, if you can do hard boiled and oatmeal, that's just just try to go with the healthier options. It's going to be hard when you're on vacation, and especially if you don't have your own kitchen that you're cooking in. If you're eating out a lot, I think it's just all going to be mindset and just going in with the mindset of, okay, I got to do the best that I can here. And, it's funny, like I even noticed that for myself. If I just go on vacation in a mindset like, okay, whatever, that's how I end up eating. Oh, there's another dessert. Like I just went to Disney. I had dessert every day. I think I had more desserts in 5 days than I've honestly had in 5 months. But like I said, last year when I did 21 Day Fix, I was going to parties and things like that. And I'm like, they're like, oh, can I get a glass of wine? No, thank you. I don't want any wine. I stayed away from the dessert table. And I'm like, why the heck can't I do that all the time? It's just because I'm in a different mindset, so we're going to watch you and have you check in every day with us while you're on vacation.
Oh boy, that's scary. No, I think the food, I'm not too worried about the food because I think that, it is pretty well laid out. So I feel like that's hopefully, I'm sure it's going to be challenging, but hopefully not too bad. I think that I should be, we're going to be skiing for a lot of it. So I figure that will somewhat count, but I think sticking to the workout program is going to be the bigger challenge just because we're going to be staying with some friends and then we will be, at a resort and stuff and back and forth. So I think that's where I'm a little nervous is how to get the exercise piece in during that, but I'll just do the best I can.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think with that too, and remember that like Hammer and Chisel is an intense program. So maybe even for that time, just if you're skiing and when you're doing leg stuff, maybe lighten up your leg workout a little bit. Keep maybe to the same for your upper body stuff. Cause skiing, you're not probably using too much of your upper body, a little bit, but not, most of the skiing is going to be in your legs and your core. So maybe just lighten up the leg workout a little bit. And, with skiing, you're going to be burning a lot of extra calories too. So you probably have a little bit more leeway with your eating, although I probably shouldn't tell you that, huh?
Right, I know. Don't worry, I won't take advantage of that.
And drink lots of water.
Definitely. Great questions so far.
Any other questions?
Nobody? Are we going to see a bunch of questions on the pages tomorrow morning?
It's fine. We'll answer them all.
Create another video.
Yeah, I mean, we're really excited. 21 Day Fix, a lot of us have done that, on and off for quite a while. So, I mean, if you have any questions about the nutrition plan, we're very well versed in it. And, Hammer and Chisel is pretty much the same. One of the things I did want to mention, if you are doing Hammer and Chisel, if you are coming in the lowest calorie bracket, you need to bump up one if you want to build muscle. So like I'm 5'2", and I'm always in the lowest calorie bracket because I have no space to put anything extra. And although I wish I were 5'10", because I would really love like extra food. But anyway, I'm not. So at 5'2", I'm always in the lowest calorie bracket. So, but for Hammer and Chisel, I'm actually going to bump up to Plan B, to the 1,500 to 1,700 calorie range. And that is because you need to fuel your body in order to build muscle. In the 21 Day Fix program, I stayed in the lower bracket, and that was fine. That worked well for me. Occasionally I got hungry, I would add in an extra vegetable. But that I usually don't have to do that. But, just kind of a note. And, one of the things they said in some of our trainings for Hammer and Chisel, were as for the performance line, the women want to stay away from creatine. And there's a whole kind of science behind that. If you have any questions about that, let me know and I can explain that a little bit more thoroughly. But just like Amanda said, I plan to use minus the creatine, the rest of the performance line. I told him going full on in the Hammer and Chisel.
Can't wait. Oh, I'm so excited for my
I know, I'm so excited too.
So Michelle, you're doing the build muscle. So you're doing this, not the lean.
No.
Okay.
No.
And what about you, Amanda?
So based on the recommendation, the girls who were in the test group said that at the lowest calorie bracket, they needed the extra food. And I typically keep myself at the 1,500 to 1,800 range, even though I should be at the 1,200 to 1,500. I just feel best at 1,500 to 1,800. So I'm going to start there and see if I need to add. I'm going to start by adding, an extra protein or an extra vegetable, but that's where I'm going to start, because these workouts, the intensity of these workouts is enough that if you're eating at that 1500 to 1800, you're still going to continue to lean out and see results.
Okay.
But you want to maintain the hard work you've put in over the past few years, building that muscle, and continue to.
I actually have a scale that measures body fat, bone mass, and all of that. So I'm really going to watch that number. You know,
That too. I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to focus so much on the weight. You know, where my weight is, because I know obviously muscle, it weighs more. So I really want to focus on trying to decrease my body fat percent. And for me, that's I'm going to try to gauge my progress a little bit more with that and my measurements. There's something else I was going to add in as Amanda, I thought of it as Amanda was talking and now I lost it. Oh, well, if I think of it,
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking of doing the lean, which puts me in that 1200, which I'm fine doing that. But now that you mentioned building muscle, I think I want to do that more than.
Well, if you look up, oh gosh, not Christine, but Becky Brissett. She is a coach, and she was in the test group. She's 5 foot tall. Her, so again, she's like me, falls always in the lowest calorie bracket, and she bumped up.
Yeah.
And her results were phenomenal.
Really?
I mean, she is like ridiculously tight. I mean, like ridiculously. So, you know, I kind of looked at it this way. If she was successful with doing that, then I should be okay doing that.
Right. Okay.
If, you know, and there's always a little bit of leeway, you know, every body and everybody and everybody is different. So you just have to kind of gauge for yourself, you know, what works.
Right.
You know, I've had people who are in a higher calorie range and they have to go down because it is too much food, and then they're okay. Or as you lose weight, you have to recalculate that too, to make sure that you're staying in the correct range for where you are at that time.
On that note, in the Hammer and Chisel book, where it says the FAQ, they talk about recalculating, and they do say that if you feel good and you're continuing to see results, you actually don't have to recalculate. But if you notice that you're hitting a plateau,
that's when I see people. Wait, if you hit a plateau to add?
I have to look it up. Actually, let me grab it real quick. But I was reading it today, and I was like, that's really interesting. Yeah.
Well, it's you know, it's funny that she brought that up, because when I did the 21 day fix extreme, and I did the countdown to competition, I was eating a lot more, and I saw results a lot quicker.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Well, I mean, remember, when you're doing a program like Hammer and Chisel, you know, it's all strength training. And so you're going to burn calories. You're going to burn more calories all day long. Whereas when you're doing something that's a cardio-based workout, you're burning a lot of calories then, but you don't have kind of that after effect of the of the burn and the like you do with strength training. Right. So, I mean, if you read articles on, you know, if you want to lose weight, what's really better to do? People, if you poll them, are going to say cardio, but really the science is strength training.
Right.
I think realistically, you need a good balance of both just for your health. But, you know, to really get weight loss or to build muscle, you need to strength train.
Right.
And women are always scared of it.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's like my favorite.
Oh, me too.
I would much rather do that than like a cardio class any day of the week. Do you just
on page 30?
Page 30. Okay.
And it says, as long as you're making progress and feeling good, there's no need to recalculate. However, there may be times when you need to adjust your calories, like if you experience a plateau. If you hit a plateau and suddenly it all slows down, here are some suggestions. Don't panic. It's perfectly normal for body transformations, whether it's weight loss or muscle gain, to ebb and flow, sometimes even for a week or so. If it goes on longer than a week, you may be under eating, which can put your body into starvation mode. This means your metabolism is slowing down to conserve fuel. Try bumping up to the next calorie level. I think that is such, for everybody who's still alive.
Well, but you got to think of it that this is a strength training program that's building muscle.
That is
building muscle. You need to fuel your body. So if you're plateauing, it's very likely that your body's burning so much more, and you need to bump up a level. Yeah. So I mean, it makes sense exactly what Becky was saying, that she needed to bump up a level in order to get herself in the right range because of the strength training and the muscle building.
And I think that's extremely important. Like when you think about it, even I know, Steph, you're doing max 30. When you're doing max 30, 21 day fix extreme, even 21 day fix, make sure that you're eating at the calorie level you calculated for yourself. There's no need to eat at a lower bracket.
Yeah, and you got to eat everything.
Science behind it. There's a reason you calculate.
Well, I mean, I even knew when I did 21 day fix, and like I said, I was in the lowest bracket. If I even missed a teaspoon, teaspoon, which is like essentially an oil or a healthy fat, I was hungry. If a teaspoon, and you think, well, what the heck is the difference of one little teaspoon a day? But for me, it made a difference a lot of days in whether I was hungry or not.
Yeah.
By the end of the day. And I realized the days that I got every single thing in that I was supposed to, I wasn't hungry.
It's perfect.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So since you were talking about max 30, so since you guys are talking about this, since I started, the past few days, I noticed I was when I would be driving home from work, I'm like, wow, I'm starving, but I didn't not eat all my containers that I should have before dinner because I had what was left over that I should be eating for dinner. And I thought maybe I was not drinking as much water as I was, and I slacked with it. But could it also be because I'm doing max 30, which is more intense, and maybe I'm just burning more?
I was starving on max.
So right now, my calorie count's around the 1,300 range. Should I be bumping it a little bit, or should I just see? Because next week I'm going into week 2 of it. Should I see how it goes before I do that?
I would wait. I would wait and give your body a little time to adjust, but make sure that you are eating everything you're supposed to every day and drinking the water. I mean, for me, drinking water makes a big difference too in whether or not I get hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I was just curious because when you brought that up, I thought it was just me maybe slacking on water because I do work at a desk all day and I have a water bottle next to me, but I know sometimes when I get really busy, I might not even think oh, I didn't even drink my second filling of my water bottle. So I thought it might have been that, and I was I guess I should pay attention more to that. But
yeah, I mean, it could be both. It could be a little bit of either. So I would kind of just experiment with that a little bit, see what happens. See if it is the water. See if it is. Are you eating everything you're supposed to be?
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember feeling that way too, though, on max 30. I think that was because I came off the 21 day fix where I was eating 12 to 15 and felt good. And then started max 30 and realized that's when I had to bump up.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it's all, just keep listening to your body and what it's telling you. And we can even talk, if after you feel like it hasn't evened out yet.
Okay. Sorry if you hear my dog right now.
We're used to it.
Your dogs or
either dogs, kids, it's always something.
He was right near the phone on my lap and then just started barking like crazy. So sorry.
Makes it fun.
We're at an hour. So it's, you guys, any last questions before we wrap it up here? And if not, if you think of something along the way, just post it in the groups and, make sure it gets answered.
Yeah.
Just make sure everyone meal preps. It's very, very, very important. If you want to see success, then you have to plan out.
Awesome. Yep. Thank you so much, Amanda, for putting this together.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
It was fun. I hope we can make this.
All right, I'm with Amanda. I'm already ready to go.
I know. Thanks to you, I have a new format. It's great.
Isn't it awesome though? It's so much better to see it as you're doing it. I realize that I meal prep a lot quicker now because I'm visually looking at it in colors.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So exciting. But yeah, I can't wait until Monday.
Me too.
All right, guys. Well, let's rock it out, guys. We got this.
Have a great weekend.
So much.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.